She wanted to try soccer, and then year after year it kind of became a thing that she liked.
It is fun to coach Maddie. She's a player who really respects the game and has a lot of integrity.
Was able to keep it serious when needed, and she was just full of passion, and she was a great leader.
She's very uplifting. She always takes on that leader role and will always help you when you need it and always give you tips if you're struggling.
And she's just very driven to what she wants, and I think she's just very talented.
You become a different person.
The work that I put in helped me defy all those odds.
Trusting God was the biggest part.
3, 2, 1, action.
The other kids made it very aware that I was different.
What makes me proud of my culture is
I really think it was my mom who inspired her to become a soccer player.
I didn't push Maddie into wanting to play goalie. She adapted to it herself.
I think she chose that because of her own decisions and how she likes soccer.
They always just basically told me like whatever I did, they would be proud of regardless. Like they wouldn't be mad if I decided I didn't want to play.
Maddie as a kid was defiant and opinionated, and we always said that she was a little adult.
Maddie never gives up. She's the biggest cheerleader on the field I've ever known.
Very independent and wanted everything to be exactly how she wanted it. She was obstinate is a great word for Maddie.
When she was younger, games would go horrible if she'd get shell-shocked or, they'd get beaten up. But she's always bounced back with the help of my mom and my dad being there for her, and her friends who've always supported her every step.
Soccer was a lot less stressful when I was younger, and it was a lot lower of a level when I was younger. I played rec growing up until I was about 9, and then I switched over to gala, and it was definitely like a lot less. It was a lot less time I had on my hands and a lot higher level. Like I was playing with 19-year-old boys when I was 10. Like it's definitely just a lot different now, especially like when I was younger, it was 1 to 2 practices a week, and now it's 3 to 4 practices a week. And when I was younger, it was 1 game every other weekend, and now it's all year round games, double headers pretty much every weekend. So it's definitely like a lot higher demand on my body and my mental health now.
Maddie is a very hard-working person.
She doesn't give up on anyone, and she's just like a team player in general.
She's a phenomenal leader, and I think that the girls really look up to her to set the tone on the field and just to find that team energy.
When I first met her, she was trying out as a goalkeeper also, and I was a little intimidated at first, just her being younger, and everyone was saying that she was pretty good.
I was kind of intimidated because she is so loud, and she was definitely taking on that captain role, but it was like kind of like she was super approachable to talk to, but it was just very intimidating as a freshman meeting her.
She came with so much talent and so much energy. She was just kind of this little freshman who was loud and was bold, and it was really cool to see her kind of take shape into this leader that she now is now.
Me and Maddie are both captains, and she's very vocal as a captain.
Because she can see everyone on the field, and she can tell everyone where they need to be if there's an opponent open.
She brings a lot of energy to the team. She never lets you give up on yourself. She's always trying to help others improve in their soccer skill and also herself.
She's the first one to do any sort of consequence. She's the first one there all 4 years. I mean, before she could even drive, she has always gone to every single JV game. Even though she was from freshman year varsity player, she is the first one at the JV games to cheer on the JV girls. She's the last one to leave after varsity ends. She's cleaning up. She's giving people rides. She's making sure people are where they need to be.
High school soccer is definitely a lot quicker. You make a lot of connections a lot quicker, and you only have a few months together. And that's that. You're there middle of August until October for us, and you only have 2 months to make those connections and to be in a different environment. And for me, high school was an environment where I thrived because I was able to just be myself in high school.
So there was a game, I remember, where there was a couple girls who had missed a practice that week, and so I was really trying to stand firm, and if you miss a practice, you're not starting. And so I looked down the bench, and there was Maddie, and I told her to get her keeper gear off, and she was gonna start forward that game. And she looked at me with this crazy face of like, what? I've never stepped foot on the field like since I've started Getchell.
She scored her goal because she's a goalie, you don't expect her to score a goal, but right when they put her in forward, she scored her goal.
I'm just standing up there by my jolly old lonesome self. I'm just standing up there. She drop kicks the ball. I see this ball coming. I'm like, oh shoot. So I start running and their defender gets the ball. And I'm like, okay. And then she loses it. And I like go around her and then I dribble about 20 yards probably. And then their goalie comes out. Mind you, their goalie's like 6'2". Like she was tall. I scored on her with my left foot.
I ran straight back to her and gave her a big hug and like jumped into her arms.
And she went out and she tied for being the top goal scorer for that season.
The greatest moment ever. I was like, no way, I just scored.
And I think that really separates her from other goalies too, is she has amazing footwork and amazing technique on the field as well. And she's a bulldozer, but she really went in and, I was trying to set the point of, Maddie, I need somebody else to start so I can teach some people some consequences. And, just like I said, she's been that amazing leader that will do anything for her team. She went out, played forward, and almost got in a few fist fights, but otherwise she ended up being one of our lead goal scorers that season.
The recruiting process for Maddie was very bumpy along the road and ended quite unexpectedly and abrupt.
I started my recruiting process when I was probably in 8th grade, and we were just trying to find schools that would talk to me. And then basically freshman year was just me emailing coaches, flying out,
going to several college showcases, talking to coaches that can't talk back to you until you're in your sophomore year.
And when June 15th hit, there was a lot of people coming in talking to me, but at the same time it was all spam emails, it wasn't anything, and there was not much I could do. Like, I was trying to talk to coaches and coaches wouldn't email me back, or I was trying to figure out a way to see coaches at tournaments and showcases, and there was nothing.
So the process is hard and sad, and it kind of makes you feel lonely. You send an email out or a phone call out and you hope that you get something back, and you don't. Nobody really helped us along the way. The coaches weren't able to really do a lot for us. It was kind of an individual process.
I'm so grateful that I'm able to be on a team, because if I was going out there just alone with nothing, I definitely think it would be a lot harder than it is now.
Maddie and I traveled around to a lot of different states to go to different schools and different college camps.
When I was trying to get recruited, I honestly just wanted to play college soccer. Like, I knew I wanted to play for another 4 years. So there was not much I could do. I just really wanted to go somewhere, and I had been talking to a lot of schools, but nothing had been going anywhere. And my dream school was always to go somewhere south.
Committing to Alabama A&M was over the moon excited for.
Just like a very welcoming place. Like, it was just, that's like why I chose. Like, it's so welcoming there, and like they were so accepting of everyone no matter who they were. It was just really nice.
I was thrilled for her. It's amazing to see girls from a program that sometimes doesn't always get the credit it deserves. I know our record isn't always the hottest, but we've consistently put girls through college ball, and I think that speaks for itself and speaks that we do have talent. And I think that I was just so excited for her, and especially excited to see the impact it had on other girls. I could see, the idea light up in their head and spark people thinking, man, like, somebody from little old Getchell, little old Marysville can make it out and go D1. Like, maybe I could too.
When I figured out Maddie was going to Alabama, I was very proud of her and excited for her.
I was kind of like shocked, I didn't know she was gonna go to D1 or what her plans were, but I was very happy for her and her decision, and excited that she wanted to continue her soccer journey.
When I found out that Maddie went to Alabama A&M, it was a surprise. It's primarily a black college, and she's mainly been in primarily white schools, And so I think it's going to be a very big learning experience, but I know she'll come out better from it.
I hope Maddie goes on to college and gets to do everything she wanted to and dreams about.
I know it's going to be far and it's going to be hard for her to not be with her friends and family.
Just never give up, to never take anything so seriously.
Be yourself. Don't settle for anything that you don't want, and take everything you deserve.
I think the legacy Maddie has left is no matter how bad the season's going or how bad of a game another teammate's having, just to be the biggest cheerleader for them. Maddie, being on a soccer team in high school that didn't have the best season, still ended up getting a scholarship to go play D1 soccer. That shows that she just really worked so hard no matter what. In practice, she was working hard even if girls aren't putting all their effort in. And in games, she's just working as hard as she can.
Legacy Maddie left, I would say she was the best goalkeeper I think I've had for a while.
Yeah, I mean, talent, of course, but nobody works harder. You know, I have multiple players that work up to Maddie's level and, you know, put forth that effort every day. And I think that Maddie is somebody who has just consistently done that from the day she's been there. You know, she sets the energy for the team for sure. You know, I'll go into the locker room to talk through the game plan for the girls, and who is screaming at the top of their lungs? It's like 3 players, and Maddie is always the loudest, you know, trying to get the hype in the room, trying to bring the energy up, trying to teach the underclassmen what it's all about, and that it's not always about the record, and it's not always about the goals scored, but it's about the energy you're creating and the atmosphere you're creating. And I think that when you see the bigger picture of it, I think that you can accomplish so much more. And I think that's something special about Maddie that allows her to accomplish more, is because she understands it doesn't always boil down to just wins and losses. And I think that that's what separates players from being good and great.
Maddie will definitely leave a legacy. Her legacy that she'll leave is she definitely has, people have big shoes to fill, and especially the goalie position, but also the captain perspective too, because she was a really good captain. She would always lift the team up and encourage others, so people will definitely have to step it up to reach Maddie's level.
Maddie leaving a legacy at Getchell is for sure, yes. I think every person she's come in contact, whether it's soccer or school, knows her and knows how contagious her smile is and her laughter and just her overall personality. I think she's for sure going to leave a legacy here.
I think she inspires girls to the point where they've seen it happen. You know, they can see somebody who goes out and puts forth their best effort for 4 years straight, and they saw it pay off. And I think that that's really special, and I think it'll have a snowball effect of girls who maybe this season thought, like, it's just Getchell, nobody's watching us, you know, it's just Getchell, recruiters aren't going to pay us any mind. And I think they'll start realizing, oh shoot, if I show up every day, if I put in that extra effort, if I go the extra mile, I could accomplish that too. And I think that that's really special too. I think next year it's going to be, you know, maybe a week or 2 of this awkward silence of like, oh my gosh, the loudest person is gone, because, you know, let's face it, she is the loudest one in the locker room, the loudest one on the field, and for good reason. And I think she's going to inspire that next group of leaders to step up and to go, okay, like, we've got some big gloves to fill, some big cleats to fill, you know, that voice is gone. And it's next person up, who is it, you know? And I think that that question is for her teammates to answer, and I'm really excited to see the impact it has.
I think the legacy I want to leave is just knowing that you can defy all odds. Like, I'm a kid from a small town who wasn't supposed to go anywhere like that, and I ended up doing all of this work, and then I ended up getting there, and like staying as humble as I could while doing this, and staying like as optimistic as I could, because I never thought I could get this far. I honestly didn't. And I think like the work that I put in helped me defy all those odds. And I think that's kind of the legacy that I want to leave, that if you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want.